Hello, my name is Rhonda Turner, and I'm super excited to share our first Association of Safe Patient Handling Professionals micro learning series. The focus of these next 5 videos are going to be around floor rescue. We really want to treat falls as a code. They happen all the time, and everyone should have a role. So we're going to explain the process of how to develop it through foundation and in your policy. The next series is going to be about simulation. Then videos 3 and 4 will talk about the equipment used and technique. And then the final video is going to be talking about considerations for patients of size. And we're going to do a wrap up. So here we go. So why are we looking at floor rescue? There are millions of people that fall throughout the United States, actually in the world, while they're staying in the hospital. It's a devastating experience for the family members, for the staff, for the patient. And I've been in healthcare for just about 39 years, going on 40. And I have seen so many scenarios where a little bit more education would be phenomenal. And this is very personal to me. I've shared before, but my mom, she passed away because of a fall in the hospital. And I happened to be the one to find her. This was quite a few years ago. But when I came in, I was only gone for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And I came in and she was on the floor. She obviously had been left alone on the bedside commode. Her head was an inch away from the nightstand. Her IV pole was behind her and she was laying on her right side. It was obviously that she went down pretty hard. And so I had just spent a year in quality learning about just culture and how to make learning, you know, devastating things and a learning experience for the staff and not to place blame. So as I was calling the staff in, I think the most eye-opening experience of all of this was how terrified the staff were when they came in. There were 6 staff members that came in, and as each one came in, they looked at mom on the floor, then they looked at me, and I could just tell, I could just feel the tension and the fear building in the room. So after everyone was in there, I I could tell they didn't quite know what to do, and I was trying to not overstep my boundaries. And then I finally just said, we just developed a floor rescue algorithm within our healthcare system, and I would love to teach you guys how to do a floor rescue. So they were gladly accepting, and they were very engaged. And we went through, and even mom was engaged. She was hilarious. She just fed right into it and was just going with it as she always did. And I proceeded to talk to them about how to get a patient of size off the floor. And it was probably one of the most rewarding experiences in my healthcare career because I saw how important it was for the staff and how much they changed and how relaxed they were. I knew that this is a skill that every healthcare provider should learn, and it should be treated like a code because there's so many things that could go wrong. And I tell you what, if I'm a patient laying on the floor and I hear staff trying to figure out what to do to how to get me up, I would be worried. So I think what we have done within our healthcare system is gave our staff the confidence to do a floor retrieval along with a leadership support and a clear policy and a plan in place. So let's just dive in. As I shared, we need senior leadership support. It's the biggest, you can't move forward without it. So we had to establish those partnerships with the leaders. And really, as I shared, we can't shift the culture if we don't have that support holding us up. And then if you need to do a business case, if you review your current practice and realize you have gaps in your floor rescue policy and process, so look at your current practices, and you're going to want to build a SBAR to speak to the leadership and know your audience, I have to say. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it's so important to know your audience. Who are you talking to? What do they need to know? And you want to be very clear and succinct. So first of all, let's look at your policy. Is it built into do you have clear expectations within your policy? This is an example of our policy. And because of this policy being built before I was a leader in the fall and safe patient handling world at our facility and our healthcare system, this gave me all the ground to stand on to go to our leadership and say, hey, we need to build some education. We need to build an algorithm. We need to build a process around floor rescue. So definitely have it in your policy. Another key piece that speaks to leadership and staff is to look at your staff and patient injuries. Have you had injuries related to falls? I know if there is a fall that happens within the hospital, it could clearly go up into the millions of dollars. So definitely know your data around that. And then when you're talking about data, I can't stress this enough, whether you're talking to staff, to leaders, to patients, to whoever it is, to your colleagues, you want to find a way to connect to the heart. Bring those patient stories in, bring those staff stories in of who have been injured, and really do a good, solid data review. But as you're doing all of this, you want to combine this to create a sustainable practice within your healthcare system. So again, just to review, know your current practice. Do you have policy built in? Assess your staff and injuries, and know your audience. And then you can go to leaderships with some clear data and some clear recommendations that you'd like to talk about. Now, say you've moved forward and you've got the approval that you need and you have the people at the table. So the next thing I would say is quality involved in this. Now, they may not have any key roles in, say, the clinical practice change, but they are wonderful at change management. Or do you have a change management role within your healthcare system? Whatever it is, make sure that you have a good plan before you begin to build it. Everyone knows the PDSA, Plan, Do, Study, Act, which is a good one. Define, Design, and Implement is another solid one. But I've discovered Cotter's 8 Change to Sustainable Change, or 8 Steps to Sustainable Change. It's fabulous because it creates a good foundation and it's all about sustainability. So check that out. If you don't have a process in place, it's definitely a good blueprint to get you moving forward. And I'm going to wrap this little video up with my favorite quote. An effective SPHN program requires a complex interplay among a number of disciplines and departments. The goal of the program is to create a partnership between employers and healthcare workers that implements and supports safety goals. This is one quote that I whenever I'm stuck, I always go back to it and find out who's missing at the table, what's missing in the process, what do we need to put in place to move forward. There's a great book out there by Dr. Susan Gallagher, The Implementation Guide to the Safe Patient Handling Mobility. It talks about the 8 ANA standards and how each one plays a role in moving forward and kind of breaks down why and how to move forward. And the other key thing is, we want to stop injuries for all of us. So I love this promotional, this was at a skills fair, Ronnie Turner, he built a stand about stopping CNA injuries. Again, know your audience. It was a CNA skills fair, and he was able to connect to many of his peers, and it was a fabulous way to move forward. And that is all I have. Oh, I just want to highlight that complex interplay. I always forget about that, and creating a partnership. Without that interplay with all the roles and disciplines and departments at the table, it's impossible to move forward. Also with the partnership. So thank you for listening to this first series of our micro learning, and I'm going to move on to simulation in the next video.